The UAE's departure from OPEC has reinforced Saudi Arabia's already dominant leadership of the group, but it also presents an opportunity for other members, including smaller ones, to gain greater influence over policy decisions. The exit of the UAE from OPEC and the wider OPEC Plus has shaken the alliance to the core and raised serious questions over the group's cohesion. It could even prompt others to reassess their membership in the group. But life outside of OPEC would be challenging. Most OPEC members have historically relied on larger producers, particularly Saudi Arabia, to lead policy, given its superior market knowledge and intelligence, and the expectations that its decisions will ultimately benefit everyone in the cartel. The UAE was perhaps unique among the group in its ability to go it alone. Unlike most other members, it has a proven ability to rapidly deploy new production capacity, and no other member apart from Saudi Arabia has the sort of deep oil market knowledge that would allow it to successfully navigate global oil markets. Now, there was also a piece in the FT that just came out today saying that the other reason, or maybe the real reason, the justification for the UAE leaving is that they're much more diversified as far as investments go than the other countries in the region and in OPEC. So they have more leeway because they're not so reliant on oil. They've made it a policy to be less reliant on oil exports than many of the other countries. Still, the importance of ensuring group cohesion could lend a greater voice to other members on policy decisions and potentially see Saudi Arabia adopt a more accommodating stance. After all, even the exit of a small African producer would present poor optics, particularly if it happened soon after the UAE's departure. Kuwait and Iraq are still in the running. The Iraq remains OPEC's second largest member and has ambitious plans to increase its production capacity from around 4.5 million barrels a day to 6 million barrels a day, although recall that they're pretty much trapped and they can't really get much out right now as far as exports go. It does have reserves, but the country has struggled to advance longstanding growth projects, including export capacity expansions, largely due to political instability. It's also paying the price of not building sufficient export infrastructure that would allow it to meaningfully bypass the Strait of Hormuz. Kuwait is also a major producer and one of the few members with significant spare production capacity. Before the effective closure of the strait, Kuwait was producing around 2.6 million barrels a day compared to its stated production capacity of about 3 million barrels a day. But while it has ambitious plans to boost capacity to 4 million barrels a day, recent additions have merely managed to counter natural decline. Its total reliance on the Strait of Hormuz for its oil exports has also meant that it has been one of the hardest hit members due to the closure of the waterway. Other members, such as Algeria, may also clamor for a greater role. While its production capacity is smaller, the country is politically stable and is located outside the increasingly precarious Mideast Gulf region. And recall, too, that Libya, which they don't mention here, and I don't even know that Libya's in OPEC, to be honest. I can't remember now. That, they're finally back to where they were pre the murder of Muammar Gaddafi. I don't really know how to say that properly without sounding biased. OPEC crude output plummeted by 1.59 million barrels a day in April. Argus estimates the drop left group production at about 11 million barrels a day below pre-war levels. So that's where we're kind of at now. 11 million barrels a day are now offline, and they're not coming back, or at least not significantly so. So Russia's output is also under pressure from Ukrainian attacks on its oil facilities, which I have talked about multiple times on this channel and will continue to document.